and I'm running for the Ventura County Community College District here in Simi Valley in Moore Park. It's Area 4. I decided to run for this office for a few different reasons. First, well, I'm going to back up a little bit. I came to California in 1989 to go to UCLA, and I got my BA there. Eventually, I moved to Ventura County in 1996 to work for Assemblyman Now Takasugi. After he was termed out, I went to work in the private sector. When that happened, I actually took some classes at Moore Park College for career advancement. Shortly after that, I got my MBA at Cal State Channel Islands. So I understand the value of a good education. Now, I got a little bit upset this past spring when I saw everything that was going on the campus of my alma mater. I couldn't believe that the UCLA administration was allowing that lawlessness to go on. I sent email after email after email to the chancellor's office asking them to do something about it. Finally, they did. Around the same time, we had several school districts here in Ventura County, and I see Jake Finch over here from Simi Valley Unified. Hi, Jake. Simi Valley Unified was one, but the Ventura County Community College District was another. These districts were talking about passing massive, massive bond measures. In the case of the college district, they wanted to pass an $820 million tax-raising bond measure. It would have raised taxes on every family in Ventura County for the next 30 years. Think about that for a second. We are not undertaxed. We're spending too much money. Yet the college district thinks that that's only about half of what they really need. They think they really need $1.5 to $2 billion. Now, the good news is that when they took the vote to put that on this November's ballot, only 2 members went and actually voted for it. One of them is the incumbent that represents Area 4. That's 1 vote short of putting that on the November ballot. I guarantee you that if he gets reelected, that the next time it comes up, one of the 3 no's is going to end up voting yes, because the others on that board generally are more liberal than he is. So we're looking at a massive, massive bond measure in the future unless we elect somebody who's going to say no. It's that simple. And so that's the first thing that I want to do when I get elected. I'm a firm believer in the fact that you can't spell the word bond without N-O. And I will vote against any massive tax increasing bond measure that's brought forward. Because I believe that real leaders go in there, get their hands dirty, and dig out wasteful and ineffective spending. And that's how you save the taxpayers' money. And that's the bottom line. Now, at the same time, there's other things I want to do. I want to encourage you to visit my website. Okay, it's real simple. It's vote for, F-O-R, not the number, joep.com. I want to support, expand, and support, continue, and expand dual enrollment programs for our high school students. My wife and I have worked for the last 14 years with a family that was in Moore Park at the time, and the youngest is a junior at Moore Park High School now, and she took a dual enrollment class at Moore Park High last year, and she's got a 4.0 GPA for college already, even though she was only a sophomore at the time. So I think that's one of the best programs we've got. I'm running out of time, so I'll just open things up to any questions. Jennifer.
So you said that you have a family that you were working with. Do you have any biological children in college right now?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell tell us who else is running?
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
The incumbent is a gentleman who's been in office for at least 30 years. Now he hasn't been at the community college district that long. He's only been there 14 years. But his name's Bernardo Perez. He was a Moore Park City Councilman before he was appointed to fill a vacancy on the board when Bob Huber resigned to become one of our city council members here in Simi Valley. Now, my other opponent, it's probably going to be familiar to a lot of you. It's former Simi Valley City Councilwoman Ruth Luevanos.
Woo! No.
How do you guys really feel about her?
Thumbs down.
So, by electing me, we'll help keep both Simi Valley and Moore Park ruthless.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. That's the
So
bottom line.
I have one.
I do have a question. I understand that there will be a proposition flowing from Sacramento initiated by Mr. Gavin Newsom for a bond for school development throughout
I think you're
entire
talking about
state.
Proposition 2.
I think so. How will that affect the bonds that are being put out throughout, not just
Well,
our
my
state,
understanding
but
is it's a matching requirement. So
Because that's
so
many
school
billions of dollars.
districts will have to pass their own bond measures in order to get any money of that. So not just raising taxes to pay off the state bond, but then you're going to have to pay off the local bond too.
Thank you.
Again, you can't spell bond without NO.
Joe, when they ask you a question, repeat the question so everybody
I'm
can
sorry,
hear it.
absolutely.
And then also ask their name who's speaking.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Gentleman in the back, Mr. Laffer.
John Laffer, Simi Valley.
Hi, John.
First of
Glad
all,
you can make it.
I agree, we are overtaxed. However, Measure X was a wonderful bond issue that really benefited Simi Valley schools. So my question is, a bond issue, number one, is voted on the voters. They make the decision, okay? The board only obviously puts it on the ballot. So if, for example, that bond, I'm not sure of the exact figures, but I'm assuming an $890 million bond would increase property taxes perhaps $100 or so, or $120, or maybe even less. So if that's the case, and there's not cuts that can be made with abuse, which we all know happens, would you be in favor if that money was definitely needed for infrastructure for the aging 3 colleges?
Well, here's the thing, John.
Okay.
We're in an economic situation right now where we've seen rampant runaway inflation due to President Joe Biden's economic policies. Families are struggling to put food on their table and gas in their cars. And now is not the time to be considering a bond measure. Period.
Thank you, Joe.
End of story.
That's the bottom line. Thank you.
Anybody else?